It's exactly what we're doing. And Vince has said, over his years, sometimes these things can linger, and we don't want to go through a season where he's hampered by a strained hamstring or whatever it is.
I know you guys have traveled already, but it didn't seem like the crowd in Miami was very hostile. Certainly what you're going into on Saturday will probably be that way. I'm just curious how you think this team might react to a true road environment.
Well, I'm anxious to see, to be honest with you. I think that, you play a game like this against Connecticut, and, you're going to learn a lot about your basketball team. And, being on the road, on their home court, we're going to have to do it 9 times in January, February, and March. So this is something that could be a good teaching tool for us, as both positively and negatively. But with all the new guys, it is a little bit of an adventure.
I know it's very early, and I know you always focus on the next practice, the next game, whatever. Given the record right now, given who you guys have played, do you at all look at this game and think tournament implications down the road? Is that something that crosses your mind at all at this point in the season? Or
No, I haven't thought about that. I mean, just strictly as you stated before, I'm one day at a time and one practice at a time. I think that, looking at Connecticut, they're obviously a very talented basketball team. They've got 2 fifth-year senior transfers that have, played, and they've got some veterans out there. So, it's more. I'm kind of excited to see how we do on the road and just against a really, really good basketball team.
Kevin Ollie, your paths ever crossed?
Yeah, one time we sat together recruiting, and I think it was in D.C., but that was the only time, and really had a great conversation. I've seen him since then, and we're both very, very cordial. I have tremendous respect for him. He does an incredible job.
How about as an assistant coach or a head coach? Have you ever been to scores?
I have not. I have not. This will be the first time I've been there, and back in the day, in the Atlantic 10, we were Rhode Island, UMass, those places, and I remember the first time I was there, I literally was looking around the gym like, what am I doing in Kingston, Rhode Island, being a Midwestern guy? But no, this will be, obviously it's a rich program and great history there, so be a lot of good opportunity for our guys.
Coach, with this being such a young team, it always is good to get a win. And you guys, after 4 straight losses, you bounce back with 2. Can you see confidence a little bit building in these guys right now?
I hope so, and I hope it's the right confidence. And when I say the right confidence, I hope that they're gaining momentum in terms of what we're asking them to do and them doing it. We did some things defensively the other night that were changes because of what Air Force does, and they saw the benefits of it. We've got a lot of areas to clean up, and especially offensively, and just doing where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. But as we'll take a look today and say, hey, this is when we do it right. Look at the result. This is when we do it wrong. Look at the result. And now we got to hammer it in them.
Marc Loving, this year, what have you seen from him that you like, and have you seen growth in him as a player?
Yeah. Well, I think that Marc has played more aggressive, kind of on both sides, and that was something in the offseason we had talked with him about, just strictly in terms of we knew we were going to need scoring from somewhere, we knew we were going to need rebounding from somewhere, but I like the confidence he's playing with right now. Go ahead, I can hear you.
Just want to ask you, building off that question about Marc, I know you probably don't super care about who scores and who gets credit for the points or whatever, but do you like to have a team with an identified leading man, if you will, a leading scorer, a go-to man, if you will, as opposed to, everybody loves balance.
Right.
But does a team need that, and could Marc possibly emerge into that role for you if that is something that you feel like you might need going down the stretch?
Well, the one thing I will say is I think when you look at a team that has that caliber of player you're talking about, the supporting cast makes him that player. Because if they want to double him, they know they can't because this guy can make shots. They know that they, can't cheat screens because this guy can finish on the slip, those types of things. Now, I think with that said, the best teams I've ever had have had, there's always going to be a leading scorer, but there's been a tremendous balance across, probably the best team we've had at 07, Greg averaged 14 points, and then it was like 11, 10, 9, 9, and I kind of like the uncertainty of who's going to. Now, there comes a point in time when what I'd like to see Marc do is take a game over. For instance, UConn has shown in the games they've played this year they can put a run on, and can that guy get the basket to stop the run? That to me would be more important for this team than a quote unquote, hey, that's our guy, hop on his back type of mentality.
Hey, Thad, you mentioned those 2 fifth-year seniors that UConn has, transfer kids. I think one of them visited here and was potential to be for you. What do you know about what was that like with Sterling coming in here and kind of you guys went after him pretty hard, I think?
Yeah, honestly, we had a great relationship, a great visit. Couldn't have gone any better. But in the end, Mom wanted him close to home, and it turned out to be a great choice. I mean, he's getting what he was looking for, I think. So, but distance from home was definitely a factor, and just seeing, his last go round, seeing all the games.
What's it like to watch film then of a guy like Sterling, who obviously could have helped your program, and he had his reasons for not coming here? But is it strange? Do you think about, oh man, he could be doing this for us when you're watching film, or you just, I don't know how you do that.
No, when you do this long enough, no, because you don't get everybody you want. But no, not really. I mean, I think that he's doing a heck of a job for him. I mean, he's running the team, and he and Rodney Purvis, another kid we had recruited out of high school, went to NC State first. But just as I told him when he said he was going to UConn, I'm going to be your biggest fan except for one day, and that's coming up Saturday.
What you mentioned the runs that UConn can put on. They did that the other night, even though they lost.
Yeah.
What other than that, what jumps out at you when you look at them that it's going to be a challenge for you, Seth?
I think that they're very powerful in transition. I mean, we've seen where off of a made basket they've shot an uncontested layup at the other end. They've got a lot of guys that can go off the bounce, and they got down to Gonzaga by 20 and cut it to 1, and it was pretty obvious what they were attempting to do in that comeback. And then they got great size. They got guys that can shoot it. The kid Hamilton is really, really talented in terms of scoring and passing, and just an all-around player.
In terms of also, I apologize, I walked in late, but in terms of being on the road, you've told us the story before of your first year, Jamar's eyes being really big in his first
Illinois,
road game.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah. Do you have any gauge on, because now you got a whole bunch of those.
Right.
I mean, that was one freshman. You got a whole bunch. Do you have any gauge on how guys are going to react, or do you just have to see it? You know what I mean?
It's funny because I see it often because I get so many deer on my drive home, and I see that deer in the headlight look. I hope I don't see it, but I think that's where you lean on your veterans. And unfortunately, we've only got coming into the season 2 guys that had ever started a game in an Ohio State uniform. But with that said, it's a time to you gotta band together. You've got to play a team basketball game, and you can't get rattled, but that can happen at times. You learn quickly, a 6-0 run, timeout. What's the mood of your players, and are they calm? Do they know why they went on 6-0 run? That's when you kind of know you've got the making of a really good team.
With Trevor, and after Daniel replaced him in the starting lineup, and then He's obviously gotten back in there the last couple of games. How have you seen him respond to that? When you've got a guy that comes in, he's the starter for a couple of games, loses a spot, gets back in. How have you seen him play the last couple of games and adjust to taking on a little bit more of a role again?
Yeah, you know what? I think Trevor has the one thing I love about Trevor is he is a team guy, but he's also a guy that is very competitive in his own way, and you know, I like. He seems to be more comfortable in terms of just sort of getting into the flow of the game and the timing of things. You know, he struggled real early in the season of running the stuff we were calling. There was like a delay, and it threw our timing off. And quite honestly, the last couple games he has been right on it, which has been good to see.
That's what I was wondering. That lineup, the last couple of games has been plus minus has been up significantly compared to the first couple of games. I just wonder, is that maybe the primary reason that that delay is gone?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I think that, you know, overall we're playing better basketball. I think cutting the turnovers down has helped us. You know, making free throws is raising our percentage. We don't make them all, but raising our percentage has definitely helped us. But you know, hopefully that lineup can continue, because going into Tuesday night's game. At practice shoot around Tuesday, I challenged. I said, hey, you know, Saturday we had a sizable lead the first 5 minutes, and we subbed, and all of a sudden we're down 2. And you know, we got to make sure that everybody, whether you start the game, come out, go back in, or you're not starting the game, you come in, you've got to have a great pulse of what's going on. I thought our guys did a better job at that.